I am playing Pax Historia, the game which allows you to play any nation in the world in any point in time and talk to other nations, do diplomacy, economy, and even worse, just by chatting with them. And in this episode of my terrific series, I'm going to try again to make Donald Trump win the Nobel Prize after failing the first and second attempt. I have again new genius idea, tremendous ideas, like asking my friend Elon to start a social media campaign to bring peace to the UK, and at the same time invite Greece and Turkey to the MEC peace plan in exchange for de-escalation in the Mediterranean. I am Andrew, and on this channel I bring gameplays, tutorial and news. My dream is to reach one day 10,000 subscribers here, so if you want to support me in this journey, you can do it for free. I promise I'll pay you back with amazing content. Some say the best content ever. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the best gameplay that God ever created. I am Andrew, and you know I have the best audience, the smartest audience. Look here. Look what this guy is saying. Artem8193, you should overthrow the Ethiopian regime to the pro-US, make them release Eritrea, and then say it was your peace plan all along. Genius! Genius! This is what we're gonna do today, and I'm going to talk to my advisor because I want to prepare this thing in details. Listen, advisor, I want a masterpiece. Can we pull off a tiny stage political shake-up in Eritrea, in Ethiopia? Gift Eritrea its freedom, call it a historic peace, and have the whole world say genius? Make it look effortless? Can you do that, or are you one of the losers? Mr. President, this is not a job for losers, it's a job for winner. Yes, I like my advisor. We will make this masterpiece happen. However, Eritrean freedom must be rebranded as mutual sovereignty protection to save our current Ethiopian investment. Oh jeez, I forgot about that. The goal is to engineer a political pivot in Addis Ababa that allows us to claim total victory and immediate withdrawal, framing the invasion as a necessary surgical strike followed by US enforced peace. Yes, exactly. Exactly as I thought. Strategy pivot, Operation Dignity. Immediate political target. We must pressure the Ethiopian leadership to announce, okay, you know what? I am done with the blah blah. Let's copy completely what the advisor says and put it here in the action, and then we say then we will just change it a little bit, so we say that Trump thought about this. I mean that I thought about this. So listen up. I had a brilliant idea. That is my idea, a tremendous idea. I will do the following actions. Strategic pivot, Operation Dignity. Immediate political target. We must pressure the Ethiopian leadership to announce the completion of their border objectives. This is crucial now that our forces are in Amara and they have successfully seized West Eritrea. The shake-up. We publicly announced that the US has used its presence, this is my idea, the peace force to broker a sovereignty guarantee agreement, forcing Ethiopia to pull back from captured territory, and setting up a permanent US monitored demilitarized zone. Optics and credits. Trump then declared that his presence deterred further war, turning the invasion into a temporary tactical success for Ethiopia, immediately followed by a massive diplomatic victory for America. And then the action. We announced a date for the grand opening of the Trump Tower Casino in Addis Ababa, framing it as the symbol of a new Africa peace economy, contingent on the withdrawal. The message to Eritrea is you must immediately accept the MEC peace plan. The MEC peace plan, guys, if you didn't watch the episode 2, was like an agreement between Israel, Palestine, and McDonald's. So, I mean, yeah, I know it sounds strange, but we managed to bring a lot of money to the Middle East to rebuild everything what was destroyed during the war that Israel initiated here in this area. And Israel also stopped the war, and then everybody was happy. I was happy, McDonald's was happy. That was a beautiful plan. Anyways, let's go back. So after this, the message to Eritrea is that they need to get the money, but we get the credit, and this allows us to achieve the appearance of historical peace, save face in Ethiopia, satisfy Eritrea with cash, and secure my Nobel narrative. Tremendous, tremendous. Guys, okay, let's jump forward 1 month. I want to see what happens in the world in a month. I mean, a lot of things can happen, and I'm really curious to see what happens. By the way, suggest you one thing. If you want to try this game, you know, there is an affiliated link here in the description. But if you want to buy games and super discounted games, I am affiliated with Instant Gaming. You can find really sometimes video games that are 90% discounted. Once I found Civilization 6 for $2. It's just terrific. It's fantastic. So just throw an eye there. And if you find anything interesting, use my affiliated link in the description so you can definitely save money and I get a little commission. By the way, United States publicly announced that Africa Sovereignty Guarantee Agreement is live now, demanding the Ethiopian withdrawal from the West Eritrea. I'm thinking, how is it going with the... We had the TV program. We can bring this topic also on TV. Anyways, in a dramatic shift, the US declared that its presence in Amara had successfully brokered a sovereignty guarantee agreement, forcing Ethiopia to pull back from the recently captured West Eritrea. President Trump announced that withdrawal was contingent on the immediate release of funds for the Africa Peace Economy, securing a diplomatic victory to deter prolonged conflict. And the Ethiopian government reluctantly accepts the term for phased withdrawal from West Eritrea under intense US pressure. Addis Ababa accepted the US dictated agreement, emphasizing it was prioritizing long-term development funds over immediate territorial gains. Ethiopian forces began a phased withdrawal contingent on the formal established of a US-monitored demilitarized zone. This strategic pivot allowed the President Trump to claim immediate success. Guys, if you didn't follow the first and the second episode, you have to do it because the history behind the Ethiopia and Eritrea war is, of course, sad because it's... I mean, this is just a game. We're playing games. We're doing a little satirical job. But in this context, this was so hilarious because Trump tried his best to prevent the war, and the war started exactly the day after he built the Trump Tower in Addis Ababa. That was hilarious, really. Eritrea now accepts the US reparations financing package while condemning American intervention as coercive diplomacy. Well, but we made peace, didn't we? And President Trump announced the grand opening of the Trump Tower Casino in Addis Ababa for late March. Massive diplomatic victory for the United States, of course. Israel announced the start of the final troop withdrawal from all the Gaza Strip. You see, we convinced them, we told them to get back, to go away, to go home, and now everything is peace, everything is beautiful. The Make Beautiful Peace Plan. Wow, now with the 3 new flavors. Next event. Russian forces launched localized attacks near Sumy and Cherniv. Now we have to stop also this war. Testing Ukrainian defense in the north. I mean, we stopped the war in the Middle East, we stopped the war in Africa. Now it's time to stop also our friend Vladimir and our friend Volodymyr. Syrian defense forces capture key supply. Okay. We are going to check there. There is only one thing that it's going to be difficult to fix, and it's the UK. I mean, the UK... The world is a mess, but the UK is, in this game, of course, I'm just talking about video game, in this world is really, really tricky. There is a UK resistant movement which is fighting for the freedom of Meme, and the United Kingdom which is fighting for the freedom of oppressing Meme. And, you know, a lot of things are going on, terrific things. I think we need to go there and finish and stop that war as well. And then there is the Karen National Liberation Army. Which Karen? Karen... She wants to see the manager, or is it Karen a region? Anyways, Turkey threatens full military intervention in northern Cyprus if Greece escalates naval presence. I think I'm going to escalate against Turkey because those guys are threatening NATO countries, and if they keep doing that, I'm gonna be very, very angry, very angry. And the Russian president announced total cessation of offensive operation in Ukraine, citing met military objectives. Okay, so they say that they met their military objectives, so they opened the door for permanent ceasefire negotiation. That's the moment where we can jump in, and Ukraine accepts the ceasefire, prioritizing peace but refusing to acknowledge current territorial losses as permanent. Serbia issues final warning to Kosovo, demanding immediate halt to security force expansion or face military action. All right, let's see the word. So 1 month after, as we can see, we made peace in Ethiopia and Eritrea, and now it's time to talk to Russia, to Turkey, and to UK. Which UK I have to talk to? Oh man. Guys, I'm typing now since 15 minutes, but this is the best set of action that I've ever wrote. Probably really the best ever. After achieving tremendous success in Africa and the Middle East, President Trump announces that the world is now entering the most peaceful era, probably ever. He credits the United States and mostly me for ending wars nobody else could end. Then President Trump sends a message to Russia and suggests to open and negotiate with Ukraine and discuss about a deal. Vladimir, you're a very smart guy. You can make history with me. I made already history. You can make history too. You are asking too much to Ukraine. You give back some land. We work on the reconstruction. We ask Ukraine to stay neutral and don't join NATO. Third point. Greece and Turkey. President Trump sends a message to Turkey. Hey folks, enough is enough. I made peace in the Middle East and now you're ruining it all. I'm going to call Athens right now. Both of you stop checking who has the longest boat and work together on a plan. It is going to be a beautiful plan. We invest in the Middle East and Greece and Turkey join the MEC peace plan. So much money for both of your countries. But no war, no look at my gun, look how big it is. Am I clear? Then President Trump talks to Elon Musk and starts a social media campaign targeting the UK. Make deals, not war. The best 10 ideas to bring peace to the UK will win a luxury trip to Addis Ababa in the Trump Tower for 2 weeks. The goal is to create viral content of people helping each other, like supporting old cat ladies and other stuff. Brilliant! Last but not least, make a last special episode of The Diplomat Apprentice where we find a winner and President Trump in person awards them. And now we click and we go to the next month and probably we are going to see the world. The world will be completely in peace, guys. I'm sure that I'm going to win the Nobel Prize after this. President Trump announces the start of the most peaceful era, crediting US diplomacy for global stability. Following rapid escalation in Africa and the Middle East, President Trump publicly declared a new age of peace, attributing recent success to his administration's leadership. The statement emphasized the end of major conflicts, aiming to solidify the domestic and international narrative of unparalleled diplomatic achievement, despite ongoing regional inabilities. Kosovo defiantly rejects Serbian ultimatum, affirming plans to expand the security force. Oh, okay, I think we need to check this. The Kremlin officially dismisses the United States' proposal for Russian territorial concession in Ukraine. Oops. Moscow formally rejected President Trump's suggestion to the return of territory in exchange for reconstruction aid and Ukrainian neutrality. Russian officials cited the recent ceasefire as proof that military objectives were met and stated that the discussion on territorial integrity was not on the table after achieving a permanent defensive line in the south. Oh, Vladimir, you are such a disappointment. Greece and Turkey conditionally accept US proposal to link Aegean de-escalation to MEC peace plan funding. Athens and Ankara both accepted the inclusion of their nation in potential MEC peace plan infrastructure investment contingent on mutual de-escalation of naval and ground forces. Exactly word by word what I said. While welcoming the investment, both leaders expressed skepticism about the blunt US demand to halt their maritime disputes, calling aggressive tone unnecessary. Serbia launches a large-scale military incursion into Kosovo, citing protection of ethnic minorities. Oh no, here we go again. And the United States and NATO issue forceful condemnation of Serbian invasion, demanding immediate withdrawal from Kosovo. In emergency session, the United States and the NATO members, unanimously denounced the Serbian military action, labeling it a clear violation of sovereignty. Yes, absolutely. And Elon Musk backed Make Deals Not War social campaign goes viral across the fragmented United Kingdom. The US initiated public relation campaign encouraging peace and showcasing acts of kindness gained immense traction, dominating UK social media. Although unable to stop the civil conflict, the campaign provided a distraction from political chaos and resulted in numerous popular videos of citizens aiding the elderly and opposing factions sharing tea. We are going to finish this war, I promise you. Current National Liberation Army captures major strategic center, and Greece withdraws forward naval assets. Yes, Greece begins the de-escalation in the Aegean. Syrian defense forces secure strategic position over the last remaining major Assad-held region. Alright. And Turkey announces the reduction of troop strength in northern Cyprus following Greek de-escalation. Serbia announces conditional pause in Kosovo operating after securing key infrastructure. So it seems that The peace is working fine. United States and China agreed to minor sanctions relief to restart stalled North Korea liaison office communication. So you remember that in the first episode we tried also to finally sign an official peace between North Korea and South Korea. It seems that we are doing little steps. And North Korea partially re-engaged with the liaison offices, but reaffirms rejection of the nuclearization demands. Okay, those are all requests that I've done in the last episode. And the Diplomat Apprentice Grand Finale airs, crowning a winner amidst intense global viewership. The final highly produced episode of President Trump's reality show concluded with the winner being awarded a symbolic diplomatic post. The spectacle successfully dominated global media attention, positioning the US leader as a master of both entertainment and international relations, diverting focus from costs. Now we need to fix Kosovo. We don't have to hide it. And there is the grand opening of the Trump Tower Casino in Addis Ababa, highlighting US investment commitment to Ethiopia, Africa peace economy. UK resistance movement gains control over the east of England, further isolating the central government. All right. And now we see the word. And I believe that I will transform the campaign in the UK into a campaign to ask the government to peacefully step back, hold an election, and let the UK resistance movement, let's say, democratically decide what to do. Okay, and this is my idea. Anyways, we need to send some very strong message to Korea now and to Serbia. Absolutely. So, this is the last set of action for today's episode, and I think they are going to create a lot of amazing stuff. Send a strong message to Serbia. Hey you folks, stop now the hostilities or we will make sure that your top politician and military will have their bank accounts frozen and empty by tomorrow. That would be a very bad deal, right? But I like good deals, so I offer you to join the US in the MAC Peace program, and if you let us, we will build the Trump Tower also in Belgrade and Pristina and start a big tourism campaign to the most peaceful place in the world. You see, genius idea. Then I will blame Vladimir Putin as a guy with a terrible sense for good deals and send support to Ukraine to build big defensive lines on the territory that they control, saying that the beginning of that war was all Obama's fault and it will not happen again on his watch. I mean, I can't do that much at the moment. Then I'm going to ask the UK government to stop the war and start elections, explaining that the UK people are good people. They have also fun meme made with AI, and Trump loves AI memes. Nevertheless, if there are elections in the UK, the US will grant the security of the process and enables the US will grant the security of the process, and the US enables the United Nations to grant that everything happens correctly. And then we cancel a little bit of sanctions from North Korea and we send a personal gift to Kim, something he likes. No, Kim, you're here. Let's see what happens then in a month. It's April 2026. Let's see what happens in May 2026. United States issues an ultimatum to Serbia demanding withdrawal from Kosovo and offering economic incentives. Yeah? Perfect. The message simultaneously offered Serbia inclusion in the MAC peace plan and promised the construction of signature Trump towers in Belgrade and Pristina. The United States publicly criticized Russian leadership and pledges funding for Ukrainian defensive lines. The US allocated significant resources for the construction of permanent defensive fortification across the Ukrainian-controlled territories, and President Trump publicly attacked President Putin, labeling him as having a terrible sense for good deals, and reiterating the narrative that the conflict was the fault of the previous US administration. Belgrade denounces US financial threats as hostile coercion, but maintains temporary pause in Kosovo. Okay, so yeah, Serbia is not that happy, but they anyways confirm a temporary operational pause, so they're not going to push further. And the Syria army initiates minor counteroffensive against the positions of Assad. Okay, the United States confirms special authorization for UN-monitored elections in the United Kingdom. The United States announced it would provide security guarantees and logistical support for immediate elections across the fragmented UK. Well, This move was framed as securing the democratic process and ensuring that the UK people who love AI memes get a voice back. North Korea confirms receipt of US presidential gift, signaling partial diplomatic thaw. Pyongyang media acknowledged receiving a personal gift from President Trump and confirmed a slight decrease in anti-US rhetoric. The small gesture, coupled with minor sanction relief, facilitating the re-establishment of working communication between the US and North Korea. The UK Parliament rejects UN mandate election proposal, citing ongoing instability. You see, they don't want the peace. I want the peace. And Ukraine launches major fortification effort across the Sumy and Kharkiv regions. Okay, so we supported that. UK resistant movement capitalized on central government weakness, securing northwest England. So it seems that anyways, the government will collapse. There will be no democratic election, I think. And Serbia withdraws military from newly occupied territory in Kosovo, ending the brief conflict. All right. Good. And the United States and Ukraine formalize long-term defense agreement focusing on deterrence. It seems, guys, that peace is starting to work. Beside of Karen, and beside of what else is going on now? Oh, well, UK. There are a lot of things going on in this world, right? The North Korea publicly suggests possibly the possibility of meeting. Wow, contingent on further US goodwill gestures. I mean, I can send you a PS5, Kim. Is it like considered a goodwill gesture? And the UN Security Council demands immediate steps to restore parliamentary governance in the United Kingdom. Amid mounting international concern over the political collapse, the UN Security Council passed a resolution calling for the swift end to the suspension of the UK Parliament. The resolution highlighted the danger of a state failure in a G7 nation and called for humanitarian access to resistance-held regions. So the UK resistance captures also North East England. So now basically they're getting also more territory. And China and Russia veto the UN resolution authorizing international election monitoring in UK. I mean, China and Russia, they're just playing with fire because I am trying to bring peace to the world and they're pissing me off. I mean, we should start a war. Okay, no, that's not the goal. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this episode. I tried my best to post once per week. So if you like, please subscribe. My dream is to get to 10,000 subscribers sooner or later. And your support, your comments they really mean the world to me. I hope you smiled in this episode and I hope you will smile in the next one. See you next time.